everyone. Welcome to this week's live crystal channeling. Today I am channeling from Morganite, which I refer to as the Sacred Heart Stone, the Sacred Heart Crystal. I refer to Morganite as the crystal or the stone of the Sacred Heart because Morganite is all about sacred and divine love, sacred union. It's definitely a crystal of partnership and soulmate love and marriage and those really kind of beautiful heart level bonds, but not just in terms of the traditional interpretation of love and marriage, between two people, but also the sacred bond, the sacred loving bond and relationship we have with ourselves, the sacred and loving bond that many of us have with the divine or the universe or great spirit, and also even the sacred, divine bond of love or divine union through love that can happen in family and between parent and child. So it's a really pure, sweet, high frequency love stone, and just a really, really gorgeous crystal to have to work with as medicine, as energy medicine for the heart. So I'm just going to relax into the beauty of the stone and let the energy come through, let the channeling come through for today from Morganite. And wow, I feel it right away come into the heart center, the heart chakra. Very warm. I almost want to refer to the energy of it as inviting, welcoming. It's not something that feels overwhelming, not something that can trigger maybe a vulnerability or closing response. It's an inviting, welcoming, opening, warm energy. And there's a sweetness to it. I can definitely feel my heart chakra expanding right now, the energy of it expanding. But again, not in that kind of rapid, sort of hard or direct energy that you can get from quartzes or tourmalines. Again, this is something that just kind of, I almost want to say, flows in like a river and then just continues to flood and expand. And it's interesting because the first kind of like emotional feeling that I'm getting in my system is one of wellness. Emotional wellness, feeling peace. I've received some comments and messages in the past few days from people who are experiencing heartbreak or grief. So healing the sacred bond between the self and the heart is something that Morganite could be of service to you with. And overall, just this feeling, again, just of expansiveness, of self-love. And I feel it kind of spreading. It's spreading up through here into the mind. And the message, if you will, what I'm interpreting from the feelings of the energy and its effect on me is this is also a very beneficial crystal for those of you who are facing their negative self-talk, their harmful self-talk, harmful self-opinion, self-image, self-loathing. Body dysmorphia is another one coming through in terms of frequencies that are, that can be healed by the frequencies of Morganite or helped with the frequencies of Morganite. I just feel it sort of expanding into my whole mind center, as well as into the emotional, and this greater feeling of embracing the self. And again, this reminder of the sacred divine union we have with ourselves, something that we, It's saying we look outward for love so much. We look outward for love, for acceptance. And there's this whole part of ourselves. This is beautiful. There's this whole part of ourselves inside that is just dying for our love, our attention, our acceptance. And we can deny that so often. And this encouragement to love your divine selves, everyone. Heal that sacred bond. Heal that sacred union, divine union with the self. Because it's saying you chose to incarnate as yourself in this lifetime. You chose the beauty that is you, the divine spark that is you, the radiance. And honoring the choice that's been made. Sorry, I'm very moved here. It's very beautiful. Just this sweetness and this frequency and this desire for just pure, unconditional love, and not even a love that the crystal consciousness is craving from us or even necessarily sharing with us, but just this creating a space for us to experience it of and within ourselves. And it's showing me that as we come into this place, and it's encouraging a practice, a cultivating self-love practice of just every day for 21 to 51 days. I don't know why those numbers, but 21 to 51 days for anyone who feels like, yes, I really need to cultivate this for myself. It's encouraging just 5 minutes. It could be 5, it could be 10 max, but just 5 minutes just sitting and holding Morganite in your receptive hand, so that's your non-dominant hand, in the morning as close to waking as you can. And just connecting with this frequency and allowing it to come in and allowing it to create this vessel, this container, this space for you to come into greater loving divine union with yourself. And I'm feeling this energy kind of radiate all out through my body now and into my energy sphere. And it's saying, of course, so within, so without, as we cultivate greater loving energy in a really authentic way and genuine way. I need to share this with you because we talk about that so much. Love the self. Yeah, I'll get on that, but there's always this how, and we trip over things a lot because we think we have to do everything mentally. There's nothing mental about the energy of this crystal. It's very, I want to say embodied, like it's very emotional, it's physical, it's mental, it's spiritual, it's encompassing the whole plane, but it's not something you have to do. It's not something you have to think. It's something you need to be, and that's more about just being in presence to the energy and how the energy affects you, and letting go of this feeling that you've got to do it all. You can just be in a place of receptivity and allow the healing and the growth to happen, and that's a beautiful message. It's a beautiful message. But it's showing me that so within, so without, for those of you who are, or us, who are looking to cultivate greater love in our lives, who are maybe seeking out that divine union with someone else. It's showing me how, if you commit to that practice or devote yourself to this cultivating practice of coming into sacred union with yourself, it is inevitable that you will attract it in. It is inevitable that you will call it in. So we see all these we can see out there books and programs and things like that on calling in the one, calling in the beloved, but it begins here within the self, and then it's like that calling in. Again, it's just a natural thing. It's a receptivity, reminding us of our magnetic energy, our magnetic capabilities. We forget this a lot, especially in the Western world, but I think it's sort of happening more and more, everywhere. We feel like we've got to go out and do everything. And again, there's this message of receptivity, which is really beautiful, just opening up to receive and allowing that magnetic quality that we inherently have to draw in the one. And you know, I'm also seeing, you know, for myself, one of the things that I'm looking at in the next while is adopting another doggy. And I'm seeing just even, you know, attracting in the right next furry loved one, that perhaps you're seeking out a soulmate in the form of friendship. So again, these sacred divine relationships, the sacred divine relationship we have to the earth, which so needs healing and reparation. And that's, I think that's where I'm going to wind down now with this channeling today, on that beautiful high note of love. So, Morganite, ladies and gentlemen, just and friends, there it is, just a really pale pink crystal. Maybe at times can be mistaken for quartz, but it has a different quality to it, different texture. Check that out if that speaks to you. And thank you so much for joining with me this week and every week for those of you who show up. This is such a beautiful ritual for me to come here and share this blessing with you. So thank you so much for holding space. Thank you for the love. You guys are beautiful, and cultivate that sacred divine relationship. And thank you to everyone who suggested this, because that was lovely. I'm so glad I did Morganite today. So thank you some more, and I will see you all same time, same place next week. Blessings.